Walk onto any used car lot in America today, and you will find them parked in the corner, dusty, overlooked. Price dropped 3 times because nobody under 40 will even glance at a sedan anymore. The entire country is obsessed with crossovers and SUVs, and dealerships know it. They put the RAV4s and CRVs up front and shove the sedans behind the dumpster, hoping wholesale buyers will haul them away. I have been a mechanic for over 20 years, and I am telling you right now, some of the most overbuilt and over-engineered cars ever made are sitting in that back row for less than the price of a decent couch set. Today I am counting down 5 sedans you can buy right now for under $5,000 that will embarrass brand new cars costing 10 times as much. I saved the best for number 1 because that sedan is, in my professional opinion, the single greatest value in the entire used car market. Let's get into it. Starting at number 5 is a car that most people associate with their grandfather, and that reputation is exactly why you can steal one right now. The Buick LeSabre, specifically from 2000 to 2005, is powered by the 3800 Series 2 V6. This is not just an old man car. This is one of the most mechanically bulletproof sedans General Motors ever produced, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. The 3800 Series 2 is a 3.8-liter naturally aspirated V6 with a lineage going back to the 1960s. General Motors spent decades refining this engine, and by the time it landed in the LeSabre in the 2000s, they had worked out every single weakness. No turbocharger, no direct injection, port fuel injection with a timing chain that lasts the life of the engine. I have personally seen these engines cross 300,000 miles on original internals with nothing but oil changes and a set of spark plugs every 100,000 miles. A regular customer of mine, a retired postal worker, drove a 2003 LeSabre for 11 years. When he finally sold it, the odometer read 289,000 miles. Total engine work in that entire time was a water pump at 210,000 miles and a set of ignition coils at 245,000 miles. That is it. The car still ran perfectly when the next owner drove it away. The 4T65E automatic transmission behind the 3800 is equally proven. Change the fluid every 50,000 miles and it will outlast the body panels. The LeSabre rides like a living room on wheels. Full-size cabin, bench seats in some trims, a trunk big enough to fit a washing machine, and a highway ride so smooth your passengers will fall asleep before you hit the interstate. Current pricing is almost comical. Clean LeSabres with under 150,000 miles are selling for $2,500 to $4,500 nationwide. You are buying a full-size sedan with a bulletproof V6 for the price of a set of tires on a new BMW. When you shop for one, check for 2 things. The plastic intake manifold gasket is the 3800 engine's one known weakness. If it has not been replaced, coolant will seep into places it should not be around 120,000 miles. It is a $400 fix, and most of them have already had it done by now. Second, check the front strut mounts. They clunk over bumps when worn. About $300 to fix at any shop in the country. If those check out, you have a 20-year sedan that will outlast most new cars rolling off the line today. Number 4 is a sedan that transported presidents, carried cops through high-speed chases, survived 300,000-mile taxi shifts, and somehow still does not get the respect it deserves on the used market. The Mercury Grand Marquis, from 2003 to 2011. This is mechanically identical to the Ford Crown Victoria and the Lincoln Town Car. Same body on frame construction, same rear-wheel drive platform, same legendary 4.6-liter modular 5.8. The only difference is Mercury gave it a slightly nicer interior and a quieter ride. And because Mercury no longer exists as a brand, the Grand Marquis sells for thousands less than an equivalent Crown Victoria. I had a young guy come into my shop 2 winters ago looking for a daily driver. He had $3,800 to spend, and everyone kept telling him to buy a Civic with 200,000 miles. I told him to look at a 2007 Grand Marquis LS with 128,000 miles listed at $3,600 on Craigslist. He bought it. He has put 40,000 miles on it since then. Total repairs have been a set of ball joints and an oxygen sensor. Combined cost, under $500. The 4.6-liter modular Vi8 in this car is the same engine Ford put in Crown Victorias that were driven 24 hours a day as New York City taxis. These cars routinely crossed 400,000 miles in fleet service before being retired. The engine uses a timing chain, port fuel injection, and has no turbocharging or direct injection complexity. It makes 224 horsepower, which is more than enough to move this car with authority, and it does it on regular unleaded gasoline. The 4-speed automatic transmission is ancient by modern standards, and that is its greatest strength. It is simple, proven, and cheap to rebuild if it ever needs it, which it rarely does. A rebuilt 4R70W runs $1,400 installed at any transmission shop in the country. For perspective, a single repair on a modern 10-speed automatic in a new Ford costs more than that. Current market price for a clean Grand Marquis with under 130,000 miles is between $3,000 and $5,000. You are getting a full-size V8 rear-wheel drive sedan with body-on-frame construction for what some people spend on a weekend vacation. When you inspect one, check underneath for rust on the frame rails, especially if it lived up north. Check the air suspension on models that have it, because the rear airbags can fail around 130,000 miles, and the fix is about $400 a side, or you can convert to standard coils for $200 total. Listen for any exhaust manifold tick on startup. The 4.6-liter has a known exhaust manifold bolt issue where the bolts corrode and break. It is a $600 repair if needed, but it does not affect reliability if left alone. If this kind of no-nonsense car advice is helping you, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I put out videos every week showing you what dealerships are hiding and what actually deserves your money. Now let us keep going, because number 3 is a car that needs no introduction, but somehow still gets overlooked. Number 3 is the 7th generation Honda Accord from 2003 to 2007, specifically with the 2.4-liter K24 4-cylinder. This engine is one of Honda's crowning achievements. The K24 is a 2.4-liter inline-4 with an aluminum block, a timing chain, and Honda's iVTEC variable valve timing system. It produces 160 to 166 horsepower depending on model year, returns 24 to 34 miles per gallon, and has a documented reputation for crossing 300,000 miles without a major engine repair. This is not marketing. This is what I see in my shop week after week. A woman brought her 2005 Accord EX into my bay last year for a pre-sale inspection. She was selling it to her nephew. The car had 247,000 miles on it. I checked compression on all 4 cylinders and every one was within factory spec. The timing chain had no stretch. The transmission shifted clean. I told her the car had another 100,000 miles in it, easy. She sold it to her nephew for $3,200, and that kid is still driving it to college every day without a single issue. The 5-speed automatic transmission from these years is reliable, as long as the fluid was changed every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. Honda automatics from this era are sensitive to fluid neglect, so check the transmission fluid color when shopping. It should be pink or light red. If it is brown or smells burnt, the previous owner ignored it and you should walk away. The 5-speed manual is essentially bulletproof, and it will add another 100,000 miles of life to the car, because there is almost nothing to fail. Current pricing on a clean 7th generation Accord with the 4-cylinder engine and under 150,000 miles is between $3,500 and $5,500. A comparable Toyota Camry from the same years with similar miles sells for $5,500 to $7,500, purely because of the Toyota name. Mechanically, they are equals. Inspection checklist is simple. Check the rear wheel arches for rust, because Honda had a corrosion issue in these years. Check the power steering pump for any whine at full lock. Look at the motor mounts, because Honda mounts tend to wear around 130,000 miles and cause vibration at idle. A full set of motor mounts is about $600 installed, If those check out, you have a sedan that will run circles around anything new in the same price range. Number 2 is the car Toyota built for people who wanted a Lexus but did not want to pay for the badge. The Toyota Avalon, specifically the 3rd generation from 2005 to 2012, with the 2 GRFE 3.5-liter V6. This is the same engine that powers the Lexus ES 350, the Toyota Highlander, the Toyota Camry V6, and the Lexus RX 350. It is widely considered one of the most reliable V6 engines in automotive history, and I do not use that word lightly. The 2 GRFE is a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6, producing 268 to 280 horsepower, depending on the model year. It uses a timing chain, not a timing belt. It has port fuel injection, no turbocharger, no cylinder deactivation, no trick engineering designed to chase fuel economy numbers at the expense of longevity. I have seen these engines go 350,000 miles on factory internals, and I have personally inspected 2 of them past 300,000 miles that still had compression within factory tolerance. A retired teacher brought me her 2007 Avalon XLS last spring with 198,000 miles on it, wanting to know if she should trade it in. I inspected the entire car. The engine was perfect. The transmission shifted smoothly. The suspension was tight. I told her to keep driving it for another 5 years minimum. She nearly cried because the dealer down the street had been trying to talk her into a new Corolla with a $400 monthly payment. The 6-speed automatic in the Avalon is the same U660E that Toyota has used across its entire lineup. It is proven, smooth, and lasts well past 250,000 miles when the fluid is properly maintained. The cabin is enormous, more legroom than a BMW 5 Series. The seats are wide, comfortable, and supportive. The trunk is cavernous. The ride quality is so refined that passengers genuinely mistake it for a Lexus, because it basically is one. Current market pricing on a 2007 to 2010 Avalon with under 130,000 miles is between $4,000 and $6,500. Many examples with 140,000 to 160,000 miles are going for $3,000 to $4,500. At those prices, you are buying Lexus engineering with a Toyota price tag. When shopping, check the variable valve timing oil line on 2005 to 2008 models. There is a rubber oil line that Toyota later updated to metal. If it has not been replaced, budget $250 for the fix. If the rubber line fails, it dumps oil fast, and that will kill the engine. Second, check for any oil consumption issues. Some 2007 to 2009 models had piston ring concerns that caused oil consumption at higher mileage. Check the oil level on the dipstick and ask the owner how often they top it off. If the answer is never, you are in good shape. And here it is. Number 1. The sedan I would buy tomorrow with my own money if I needed a car to last the next decade and wanted to spend as little as possible on repairs. The Lexus ES300 and ES330, specifically from 2002 to 2006. This car was built on the Toyota Camry platform, powered by Toyota's 1 MZFE and 3 MZFE V6 engines, wrapped in Lexus luxury, and then completely forgotten by the used car market, because it does not have an aggressive body kit or a sport mode button. And that is exactly why it is the greatest value on this entire list. The 1 MZFE in the ES300 is a 3-liter V6, producing 210 horsepower. The 3 MZFE in the ES330 is a 3.3-liter producing 225 horsepower. Both engines are naturally aspirated, port fuel injected, and use timing belts that need replacement around 90,000 miles. That timing belt service runs about $600 to $900, and once it is done, you have another 90,000 miles of worry-free driving. These engines routinely reach 300,000 miles. A longtime customer of mine bought a 2004 ES330 8 years ago with 97,000 miles for $6,200. Today, that car has 231,000 miles. His total repair spending in 8 years, outside of routine maintenance, has been $1,400. That included a starter motor, 1 set of struts, and the timing belt service. That works out to $175 a year in UN planned repairs. On a luxury sedan with leather seats, a premium sound system, heated mirrors, and a ride quality that makes brand new Camrys feel cheap. The 5-speed automatic in these cars is one of the most dependable transmissions Toyota ever made. Smooth shifts, long life, and cheap to service. The interior is genuine Lexus quality. Soft touch leather, real wood trim on upper trims, a cabin so quiet at highway speed that you forget you are in a car that costs less than a used riding mower. Current pricing is where this gets absurd. A 2004 to 2006 Lexus ES 330 with under 130,000 miles is selling from $4,000 to $6,500 nationwide. Many examples with 150,000 miles are listed under $3,500. You are getting a Lexus, an actual Lexus, with Toyota mechanicals and a luxury cabin for the price of a broken-down Nissan Altima with a blown CVT. When you inspect one, first confirm the timing belt service history. If it was done, you are golden. If not, factor in the cost and negotiate. Check the oxygen sensors because they tend to trigger a check engine light around 160,000 miles, about $200 to fix. Check the struts for any bouncing or nosediving under braking because the originals wear out around 140,000 miles and replacement runs about $800 for all 4. Also check the valve cover gaskets for any oil seeping, which is common past 150,000 miles and costs about $300 to fix. So there it is, 5 sedans the entire market has forgotten about that will outlast anything sitting in a showroom right now. The Buick LeSabre with its legendary 3800 V6. The Mercury Grand Marquis with Ford's proven-in taxis 4.6-liter V8. The Honda Accord with the indestructible K24. The Toyota Avalon with Lexus DNA hiding under a Toyota badge. And the king of the list, the Lexus ES with a luxury cabin, Toyota reliability, and a price tag that does not make any sense in 2026. None of these cars will impress anyone at a stoplight. None of them have panoramic sunroofs or lane keep assist. What they have is engineering that was designed to last, built before the industry decided every car needed a turbocharger and a transmission with more gears than a Swiss watch. Next time someone tries to talk you into a $35,000 crossover with a CVT and a 3-year warranty, remember this list. Walk to the back of the lot, find one of these forgotten sedans, and drive it for the next decade while everyone else is making car payments. If you want to see which sport utility vehicles I have seen go the distance in my shop for the same kind of money, I made a video on that. It is right here. Like the video if it helped. Subscribe for more honest car advice. Take care of your car, and it will take care of you. I will see you in the next one.